From medieval Latin, petra, meaning rock, plus oleum, meaning oil, is a naturally occurring yellow to black fluid found in geological formations beneath the Earth's surface, which is commonly refined into various types of fuels. It consists of hydrocarbons of various molecular weights and other organic compounds. The name petroleum covers both naturally occurring, unprocessed crude oil and petroleum products that are made up of refined crude oil. A fossil fuel, petroleum, is formed when large quantities of dead organisms, usually zooplankton and algae, are buried underneath sedimentary rock and subjected to intense heat and pressure. Petroleum is recovered mostly through oil drilling. Natural petroleum springs are rare. This comes after the studies of structural geology at the reservoir scale, sedimentary basin analysis, reservoir characterization, mainly in terms of porosity and permeability of geologic reservoir structures. It is refined and separated mostly by distillation into large number of consumer products, from gasoline to kerosene to asphalt and chemical reagents used to make plastics and pharmaceuticals. Petroleum is used in manufacture a wide variety of materials. It is estimated that the world consumes about 90 million barrels each day. Concerns over the depletion of Earth's finite reserves of oil and the effects this would have on societies dependent on it is a concept known as peak oil. The use of fossil fuels such as petroleum has a negative impact on Earth's biosphere, damaging ecosystems through events such as oil spills and releasing a range of pollutants into the air, including ground level ozone and sulfur dioxide from sulfur impurities in fossil fuels. Now I'll be discussing how gold is formed. A granite intrusion that is cooling a crystallization may contain a tiny amount of gold, although the cooling melt elements are coming together to make crystals, but none of the gold is yet. The amount of liquid decreases, the relative amount of the gold in it goes up, and the first step is concentration. The final bits of granite to be crystallized will be enriched in gold. When the granite is finally solid, but still hot, groundwater and water that used to be in the magma will be circulating through cracks in the granite. When the hot water encounters minerals containing the gold, its incompatibility will lead to those minerals break down more easily than their neighbors and release the gold into the solution. As the water moves away from the granite, it is now carrying the gold, which is even more concentrated than it was before. The water begins to cool off, and as it does, minerals begin to precipitate. Again, gold will remain in the solution as long as possible, so it is often one of the last things to crystallize. By then, it may be concentrated enough that it will grow its own crystals of pure gold, small cubes, octahedrons, and wire-like shapes, rather than trying to fit into the crystal structures. These minerals are left behind in the cracks that the water is moving through, forming veins. It is those veins that miners then follow as they mine their ore, rocks containing the concentrated gold, silver, or other metals. I will now be discussing plate tectonics. Plate tectonics is a theory of geology. It has been developed to explain large-scale motions of Earth's lithosphere. This theory builds on older ideas of continental drift and seafloor spreading. The lithosphere consists of tectonic plates. There are 8 major and many minor plates. The lithospheric plates ride on the asthenosphere. These plates move at one of 3 types of boundaries. Convergent boundaries is an axially deforming region where 2 or more tectonic plates or fragments of the lithosphere move toward one another and collide. As a result of pressure, friction, and plate material melting in the mantle, earthquakes and volcanoes are common near convergent boundaries. When 2 plates move toward one another, they form either a subduction zone or a continental collision. Divergent boundaries is a linear feature that exists between 2 tectonic plates that are moving away from each other. Divergent boundaries within continents initially produce rifts, which eventually become rift valleys. Most active divergent plate boundaries occur between oceanic plates and exist in mid-oceanic ridges. Divergent boundaries also form from volcanic islands, which occur when the plates move apart to produce gaps, which molten lava rises to fill. The last type of fault is a transform fault boundary. This fault neither creates nor destroys lithosphere. The type of motion is predominantly horizontal in either a sinistral or dextral direction, meaning right or left. Furthermore, transform faults end abruptly and are connected on both ends by other faults, ridges, or subduction zones. While most transform faults are hidden in the deep oceans where they form a series of short zigzags, accommodating seafloor spreading, the best known are those on land at the margins of tectonic plates. Transform faults are the only type of strike-slip faults that can be classified as a plate boundary.